How we doing? It's Yatta podcast time. We are here to educate, entertain, and lift the lid. My name is Russ, and on the left, I got my boy Aldo. On the right, I've got Mr. Charles Liddell.
And I think we're going to go places.
Personally, I'm really excited.
It's another Yatta podcast. Keep it locked. This week, we're hitting a slightly different beat. It's not going to be about people going broke. It's not going to be about people not getting paid. We've got Sam here for this specific reason, because this is something we've been encountering all week. For the table, because I feel we can riff on this one for a bit. What is the role of social media in the housing realm at the moment? Where is it going to go? And eventually we'll get to the point of where is the line, what is too far? So who wants to have a rough appraisal of where we're at? We've got Sam here who handles a lot of our social media. If you laugh at anything on social media from us, generally it's Sam's idea. If you cringe at it, generally it's my idea. So we've got a really good sort of balance working here. Who wants to take this one?
Well, first of all, I'd like to...
I didn't get a question, to be fair. But anyway.
That's your gimmick, dude. That's your gimmick.
Too busy on the social media himself.
Yeah, exactly. Making sure you guys are doing the job.
Exactly.
So
ask Charles, because I have no idea what... Yeah.
Well, social media. I mean, the whole reason why Sammy is part of what we're doing is because we need to execute high quality material with authentic insight as to what we actually do. So, how important is it? For us, it's extremely important. It shows people who we are, how we operate with no tricks or guys or special effects or anything. You just got two good looking guys giving you the truth.
Who's the good looking one?
Sam.
I'm behind the camera though.
But you said two good-looking guys. Who's the other one?
Me, obviously. Come
You
on.
and Sam, okay. Me and Rusty are the ugly, fugly ones.
yeah, no. Like I say, I always stick by the fact that I look like Bill Burr if you got him on Wish. That's me.
Yes, Bill Burr.
I'm only 10% as funny as well. But what's your feeling of social media in the building industry today? Like,
I think...
some of it's good, some of it's not. But
yeah, I think the building industry is very, very behind. Only recently did a builder, I can't say the name, recently got some tips on how to use TikTok, really good, by a Perth influencer. And their TikTok has been exploding. It's amazing what they've done.
But is it good?
It's a bit boring.
That's the point.
Yeah, it's stuff that I think works because of the algorithms, and they've hacked that part of it. But anyway, I probably shouldn't say all this stuff. But yeah, if we're generalizing on builders, I don't think anything anyone's producing is what I want to watch.
I think they're struggling to understand how it needs to be relatable. And we're going to go through the same sort of journey. I'm not saying that we're going to get it all right out there, but we need to listen to what people actually want to see.
Okay, so let me throw this back at you, Charles. You have over 26 years in marketing experience. 20 years, and you've had a very successful marketing company in the past.
Yes. Tell
me what you feel we should be doing differently over the other builders in the social aspect of it, in terms of let's not talk about social media, but talk about marketing and media in general. Not to put you on the spot, but I want to just get
I'm happy to be on the spot because
this is an organic answer from you.
Well, this is what I'm passionate about, and this is why we're doing this. Is we've got to stop trying to produce ads to entice people. We actually got to show people who we are and why we're there and what we're doing. If we try to, we're not McDonald's. It's not like $2.99. Want fries with that? That's not what we're doing, and that's the fundamental shift in what Yatta's actually doing. Is we're actually showing people what it is that we're doing, who we are, and why we're doing it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it comes back down to that like authenticity. You know what I mean? Like, you're not just throwing ads at people to buy houses. It's like, no, I get that. Yeah.
So what should we be doing differently is being completely transparent and open and honest about the whole journey. And this is what you and I talk about a lot.
And that's what I want to touch on, because we keep talking about transparency, and I feel like it's
just a word now.
It's a word now, yeah. So when we say transparency, for me, it means things like explaining how long it's actually going to take to build a house. Not
a sales pitch.
Exactly. So if I say to you a house is going to take 12 months, that's what it used to take. Now, let me give you a live update of what it's actually taking now with the brick delays, with the fascia, and with the timber delays. So that's the transparency around how long it's going to actually take. where are you building? You're building in bumfuck Idaho, you know. So sorry, but you know, like we have to send trades out there. You
What's
know
the
what
postcode?
I mean? 6060. so you know,
6 million miles away from anywhere useful.
what is 6060? I think that's like Midland, isn't it? Anyway, point being, if we build far away, we're gonna have to have trades to send there, and we have to get them accommodation and all this sort of stuff. So be transparent around how long it's actually going to take, and then like what it's going to cost. Like if we give you a provisional sum for site work, so site works, for everyone that doesn't know that's listening, is getting your block essentially ready to build on, right? So I'm not going to talk about the boring stuff, but we're going to get the block ready for the slab, right? So we're going to prepare it, right? Footings, all that sort of stuff. So the reality is, if it's an infill block and it needs a lot of work, and we put a provisional sum which can be changed at any stage of say 10 grand, but we know in our head it's going to be 30 grand. That's what some builders do. That they're not being transparent because they know they're going to hit you with a price increase later. So it's all these little like tricks.
I think what we're trying to do is, you know, a salesperson generally is fearful of telling the truth for fear of rejection. That's
also,
what
he wants the sale.
He wants
to
the
earn
sale.
money.
And don't get us wrong. I mean, we want the sale as well, but we want to do it the right way, because not only do we want to sell the house now, we want to sell the next house and the next house. And you know, we said this time and time again. I'd like to be able to be, you know, comfortable referring my sister or my brother to where we are building, and that comes down to, you know, having faith in the process, making sure that it's fully transparent as we keep repeating ourselves. But it is important.
And look, I want to put my hand up and take accountability. It's not like I've never done anything that's, you know, I'm not such a. It's not like I'm the cleanest slate you can get. Like I've made mistakes in my journey of learning, you know, and it's got me to the stage now where the easiest way to deal with, or to build a house, is for both parties to be honest with each other. That's it. Then you find that you're not getting to a stage where you have to have the pushback between both parties. You know, the client said, "Oh, you said this," and the building company, "Oh no, we said this," and there's all this conflict, right? And then the shonky builder starts, you know, and all that sort of, and the spray paint, and they're not paying reps and all that sort of stuff. So just be honest.
Yeah.
So transparency for us is honesty foremost, right?
And taking you on the journey. And this is where the social media and content part of it is so important for us, is because we can do that with authenticity, because you can actually participate. You know, we'll have Sam there with the camera. You know, there's none of this editing stuff
like,
to sanitize a happy experience that's overproduced.
It's all raw. It's all real. You know, everything that we'll do, it's all like, all the clients going to be real, all the homes going to be real. It's
no
none
paid
of this
actors,
no paid actors, which I've heard before.
I hate that.
And I think, the big thing is like the authenticity and the transparency and all that kind of shows through.
I'm just giggling to myself, and it's just like, hi, I'm really passionate about building with blah blah homes.
If you were to do a voiceover for a building company, how would you do it?
Well, it totally depends. Like, am I looking at, do you want to stop renting right now? For only $3.99 a week, you can get yourself 3 bedrooms, 1 outdoor toilet, middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Gold, I love it, Rusty.
Do some ads.
Well, that's actually my side hustle. But so, Sam, I'm actually going to throw to you for this one. As someone who actually started from outside of the building industry, when you've got this gig, as someone whose background is, you know, content production, how do you think it's gone as an outsider to this? Because your perspective on this would be really unique.
Do you mean like in terms of the building industry as a whole, or with
just
Yatta?
from not just Yatta, but like some of the things you saw out there that you've been thinking, oh, that's an interesting way to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like from having absolutely nothing and answering a job ad, and then next thing you know, you're working on elevations. Like, how has that sort of stuff come for you for someone who is a content creator first and foremost?
Well, I think it's been a very exciting challenge. First, you know, firstly, like I'm still kind of new and, you know, learning the ropes of it, but it's been very exciting. It's been something very new, and I'm looking forward to learning more about it. But I think kind of the last sort of year to 2 years, I think social media has probably actually revolutionized in a way, because I think during COVID, social media all of a sudden became the most important thing, because the way people could get like a face to a brand was either, you know, probably through appointments, so having an appointment with a sales rep or whoever. But during that time, the only kind of, face-to-face contact or face to a brand was through social media. So I think that's probably been quite interesting because there's now been probably more emphasis on social media, which I think is quite interesting.
Actually, this is, and this just came to mind, and Charles, I'll throw to you on this one. Do you think that the day of the really stiff photo in the blazer, that like the real estate sort of thing, that, I mean, it has sort of spilled, some reps do it, some reps don't, but do you think that's sort of going the way of the dinosaur now?
I think people are looking for real people, and yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do think, don't get us wrong. I mean, there's going to be a stiff part to Yatta as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't wink at me like
Charles is the stiff part for Yatta. I'm the fun.
I think the
Don't go hard on him.
oh, easy. I think for most people, they want to relate to people, and this is why we're producing the amount of content that we're producing, because they can see that we are actually people. We're not just trying to sell them on, somebody that we've paid that looks good in an ad, and they can act and they can say the words nicely and eloquently, and it's like, oh yeah, it's just aspirational, that sort of thing. People want to do what other people are doing. So yeah, there is going to be a portion of it that's going to be maintained. You have to have a professional, presence. So you're not some Mickey Mouse, sales rep that's out there trying to do what they can.
There's also a lot that goes into building a house, and it's actually quite an interesting process. And the reality is most of the clients don't know what's happening because everything's done behind closed doors. So part of lifting the lid about what we want to do at Yatta is actually getting the clients more involved in what it takes to build a house and get them a bit more involved. And we have some ideas around how we're going to get them more involved, and you'll have to come back to that. But
we're going to get them to lay the bricks.
Yeah, well, there you go. No, but seriously,
and then charge them for the privilege.
But why not? Like, get the kids to come out and lay a brick, and just to see, and you're building your own house. Like, obviously, they're going to check it and make sure it's structurally
I know
fine,
what you mean, though. Yeah, to have some sort of ownership in it.
But then also, creating content behind that experience. Like, getting Sam out with the camera, creating experience when the client sells their house one day, they go, remember when we built that house our first time?
And here's the video of it, and this is us
Yeah.
doing this, and the kids write their name in the concrete, and just little things like that. It's really cool. It's like
it's a big experience.
It's not quite wedding level, but it strikes me as something that it's at least gonna hit a top 5. And we all have our wedding videos that, for those of us who got married, I'm saying us like I've got married, but all of my friends who have their wedding videos, they're stoked that they have them. But I mean, the house that they're proud of, they have nothing to commemorate it with.
No, it's true. Yeah. But in most cases, the houses last longer than the weddings.
Yeah. Well, the relationship.
Damage.
That's going to be the Yatta tune.
And while we're touching on this is a fun one. This is not necessarily about Yatta. This is something we can go a little bit more meta with. Where is the line? What is too far? Like, to get views, to get content, this, that, and the other, and a lot of people are willing to do some pretty fun things, but we've all seen the ones that go too far. They go a little bit too cringy. Do you have any lines that you've seen other people cross, or ones that you're not willing to cross yourself?
Can I say something? Like, one thing that kind of in that area annoys me is probably clickbait. You see it everywhere. Like, I think it was actually a big issue a couple years ago. Kind of probably more so on YouTube, because I guess that's where it comes from. But kind of like clickbait, and then also kind of just straight up, copying what other people have done as well.
Well, it does make me chuckle, because especially when you talk about things that have already done. We've been doing a deep dive on social media research.
Yeah. So on that, obviously there are trends out there, but kind of we're putting our own little spin on it. And I think kind of there's a difference. There's straight up copying something, and then there's doing a trend. Yeah. So doing is not copying, if that makes sense.
Participating.
Yeah, there you go. It's a group project. You're not straight up ripping someone off.
Give you an example. Like, builders put ads out, and it's like, $199 a week, and all these inclusions, and this beautiful picture in a house, and at the bottom it's like illustration purposes only. So, and then it's like you call up and, where's the house? And again, it's in fucking nowhere. It's in the arse end of Mandurah. It's no offense, but it's in the middle of nowhere. And
it's clickbait.
And then they still have the balls to go, only 45 minutes from the CBD.
But the other thing is, the blocks are sold out anyway. So by the time you click on it, it's like, oh, we don't have it anymore. Mate, it's 8 months you haven't had it. You know what I mean? You had one block.
That's a good point.
This is something that I find really, really interesting, and I think I may have touched this on this previously. I went and did a real estate license
When was that?
last year.
Oh, that was like one in your ancient days, but yeah, anyway.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. 2001.
20.
Doesn't count.
All jokes
anymore.
aside, I'm looking at doing one as well.
But the
Talk to us
reality of
about-
that,
talk to us about it.
There's actually laws and accountability, and it's a regulated body. There's demurs and all these sorts of things. There's no accountability for first time or even home sales in the construction industry at all. So
Yeah, well, I mean-
who holds them to account?
Well, the thing is, how it works is obviously the person actually selling the asset, the land, the title of land. There's a law on that, so they need a real estate license. But the person selling the building, essentially, it's not built yet, doesn't need, and that's the important factor that gets messed up all the time. The land is the land, right? There's site costs involved, but when you have again a gym membership person coming over from selling Good Life gym memberships for 4 years, now they're selling a home. Their level of knowledge, like we said before, is going to be limited. So it might not be purposely done.
I mean, the knowledge you can teach someone, but the accountability, that's
That needs
Charles,
to come
you're going to
on
have to
them.
make all our reps go to real estate courses now. Thank you very much. No, I understand. I agree. There needs to be accountability. There needs to be some professionalism because you are dealing with people's money, finances. You're asking personal questions, and there's a lot of things involved that you need some sort of some body covering. And the thing I think we do differently is the people we work with, and especially the reps we're going to hire and have hired, are going to be up to that standard.
they're up to our standards. So.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sound stupid here, but wouldn't you think someone selling a new house would need someone provisioning selling an old one? Because if an old one wasn't handled right, it's still standing. You know
Rusty,
what I mean?
you're talking logic. Logic doesn't exist.
There's no logic in this industry, Rusty. Sorry.
See, this is where I keep falling over, guys.
Yeah.
I
So
would agree.
yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting time moving forward as things change, but it's going to be fun, and
Yeah.
that's something that we're going to bring back to the table as well. It's going to be a really great experience for people to actually enjoy building their home.
Yeah, we want to really educate not only the clients about their own property, but like the reps we have on board about what it takes to actually build a house. We're not going to get them a building ticket, but they need to know the fundamentals.
Like, I tell you, one thing that kind of got me excited about this whole thing was the experience part of it. Like, I have not seen another builder out there that has it as an experience. And it's like, it's a home, whether it's your first, your second, or your third. It's a big kind of life commitment. And I really love the idea of making it an experience, kind of like, the things that we've kind of got on the table with making it a lot more exciting and kind of getting people involved. Like, you were touching on getting like people to build the like bricks, be a part of that process. But there's also kind of a lot of other things that we've got in the works as well that I think is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
We've got time for one more quick thing, because this is
What's that,
almost to the end of our episode for the week, but it's a very quick one. Now, I'm not talking about your political leadings. We've just started the campaign trail. Is there anything you want to see as a policy from any side? Just something to address the labor shortages, maybe something to address the material shortages. Like, let's just say you're a lobbyist. I'm putting you boys with your lobbyist hats on. What do you want to see from federal government policy? I know this is a very, very boring question, but try and make it fun.
Wait, are we talking in general or in the construction?
Sam, you can make it your own.
You can make it your own,
if we're
baby.
making this general, like,
Give it to us.
Go for it, man. Go, Sammy.
who's the opposition guy?
Anthony Albanese.
That's it. I know. Oh no, Clyde Palmer's not in it anymore.
Why is he not in it?
No, he's got a proxy.
There's some other guy.
Craig Kelly, who is somehow both dumber and fatter. It's incredible. I'm actually impressed. But is there anything you want to see, or do you guys just want to, when it comes to this sort of thing, you just want to be like, please don't hurt me. I don't care what you do, just don't hurt me.
What were you going to say?
Far away, Charles.
You were going to say something though, Sam?
You were going to talk
No,
about
that's
He didn't know.
You just created confusion there.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something.
no. And then I
Classic
said,
politician.
Charles, far away.
Yeah, you go, Charles. You
The
love
floor
politics.
is yours,
I would-
Charles.
The one thing I'd like to see is something that Aldo touched on before, with regards to developers. There's a lot of onus, put on yield, which is making the blocks smaller and smaller and smaller, which I think is going to create problems for the future. Such high density is great for a city, but I think in these sort of outer suburbs, there should be some larger block sizes that we can build family homes on. I think it's a shame to see that land releases that are so fresh with such small blocks on it. I understand it's an affordability thing, and I think the costs associated or the taxes that they're implying to developers or whatever it is, there should be something to make it more sustainable with larger blocks.
But the government, like Development WA and these government sort of like involved companies should take more ownership in these city areas. Like I know Jindawi is backed by government and all this sort of stuff, and then you do find the larger blocks in Yanchep and Jindawi and stuff. Whenever there's a government body involved, you find there's a lot more restrictions on what developers can do. We're going to do some series involving some council people talk about this kind of stuff in detail. But I agree with Charles 100%. I think that the family home is dying, and we need to make sure that when we're building in outer suburbs that there is that large family block. And I think a minimum of 600 square meters.
Yeah,
honestly.
500-600 I think is a good place to be. I mean, the Australian dream is to live. I mean, we've got this, this huge, vast, unused island of land.
Yeah, exactly.
And we've got these little pockets that we're just pushing people into because we don't have the infrastructure to take away waste or give them water or electric.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming down for another week of Yatta Podcast fun and frivolity. We'll be here next week.
Good job,
Keep it
Russ.
locked.